everyone.
Hello.
I'm Lauren.
I am Ken.
And this is Paradise After Dark.
Dark.
Paradise After Dark is an independent podcast covering true crime,
Unsolved mysteries,
missing people,
and every now and then we'll toss an urban legend in there for fun.
And again, as always, if you'd like to support our show, please subscribe to our Patreon. Patreon.com/Palmahawk Media. That's PALMAHAWK Media.
And be sure to check out our website, paradiseafterdark.com.
On the website, you'll find links to all of our episodes, even the archived episodes, mailing lists, merch store, social medias, and of course our Patreon.
Speaking of Patreon, patrons, don't leave the episode towards the end. We've got a little special content
when
for you
this
guys at the end.
episode ends, just keep listening because we're gonna dish all the dirty dirt.
Exactly. We're gonna dirty all the dirty dishes. I don't know what all it is, but anyway,
I almost feel like we should. No, here's like right off the cuff, Ken. We're gonna make this an off-topic uncut, which we are going to give to our main feed so they can kind of experience the off-topic uncut. But then we're going to give the extended version to our patrons.
Because they're awesome and they're family and they've really stuck with us and supported the show all the way throughout. So
just in case for our regular listeners who don't know what an off-topic and uncut is, it's when Ken and I just run our mouth.
Mostly Ken.
Talk about whatever we want to talk about. Today we will be talking about our CrimeCon experience. And then we don't edit. We don't do anything. You're just going to get bare bones. This is the real deal. This is us type of material.
The patrons get basically, again, the uncut part is, when we do those, they're the burps. It's the mix, the ums.
You're going to get it all.
It's all. So
let's do that, though. Let's give our main feed like a taste of the uncut, off-topic uncut.
Kind of like the live show. Exactly.
Which I still haven't gotten the audio from CrimeCon.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
So we're going to talk about our CrimeCon experience. We just got back from Vegas.
Oh, wait, before we go on, I know we just did this in our last little mini episode that we did that we wanted to put out there about the two idiots that decided they're going to break out from an Alabama prison and haul ass together. Which I don't understand, but hit us up on our social medias because we've got a great following. What's the podcast that not the podcast? I'm sorry, the media. See, this is the uncut part. The media page.
Oh, I've gotten so we have had this Facebook group going since we started the podcast, but I've really started to try and get it up and running. Like there's posts here and there, but I'd really like to get it up and running and get some discussion going because it's PAD True Crime Discussion. That is the name of the group. So if you're on Facebook and you look into Paradise After, or you type in PAD True Crime Discussion, join the group and join the conversation.
Yeah, you can be. Even if you're not a listener and you've heard about it or whatever. So if you listen to this episode, you're like, oh, I can't listen to these guys. But if you want to enjoy the discussion, join us there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But we have to give a special shout out to Martine at the, what was it, the 5700 Ben?
I don't know.
In Chicago Airport.
Chicago Midway Airport.
If you're ever in Chicago Midway, get
right next to
gate. We
promised to shout him out, and now this is like the second time we're shouting him out.
That's why I said we did it on a mini episode, but I want to make sure that he's listening and he hears it because stop by there and tell him, hey, man, I heard about you on Paradise After Dark podcast, and just want to give you, a high five.
Tip him well.
Can you give me a beer? Yeah, tip him well because we didn't. No, I'm kidding.
No, we did.
I'm just kidding. But just say, hey, how you doing? It's Chicago Midway, so if you're on your way out to Vegas or anywhere and you happen to go through there, he's right next to gate A11. So, Lauren, I just flew back from Vegas, and boy, are my arms tired.
My lips are just now healing from being chapped.
The last piece of skin fell off my lips yesterday.
I think I still have a piece of skin, actually, on mine.
Well, I worked mine like crazy trying to get that skin off of there.
I know you worked your lips at CrimeCon.
I did. I was talking to
That's how we got all those meet and greets.
Oh, meet and greets. I was talking to everybody there. Everybody. And people, I think most people are like, I wish this... one lady I was talking to, she come by the booth and she's looking at me and I can just tell in her eyes, she was like, would you shut the hell up and let me walk away for a minute? No, I'm kidding. It was great to talk to everybody. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. Let's talk about... one of the things that was really tough for us is obviously when you go to CrimeCon and you're going to be on Podcast Road. Now, originally in 2019, we went to New Orleans. I mean, we packed clothes and stuff. We didn't know what to wear. We knew that when we went to CrimeCon, we were going to wear some of our gear because we were kind of new. I mean, we were kind of new at the podcast, so we wanted people to see our name and whatever. So this time it's like we know because we were in Austin. Now, Austin was not nearly as large. I mean, maybe a third of the participants?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
In Austin?
Yeah, not even half.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely maybe a third of the participants. I don't know what the actual numbers were. I just know that this time was huge. But keep in mind, too, you're also on the West Coast. You're somewhat post-COVID, although sadly, I mean, I'm seeing on Facebook and a lot of Instagram stories that some people did end up getting COVID while they were there. Fortunately, Lauren and I are clean so far. But for the most part, it was...
So far.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't tested. But we're not sick.
I'm sick in the head, but not necessarily COVID. But no, I mean, so you're trying to prepare and everything. So we're packing suitcases because remember, you want to wear stuff. Obviously, you need pajamas, so you got to figure that out. Then you've got to have clothes to wear during the day that you are going to be down there at the booth and you're going to be meeting and greeting. Well, then you want to get out of that because you've been around all these people and you've been kind of sweating down there a little bit. That I thought you were going to sweat, but you never sweat because it's so damn dry.
I know.
But then you want to have clothes to wear out that night. So, I mean, it's like 3 outfits a day that you're wearing. So we're packing suitcases. Well, then we decide that we're going to have to take extra suitcases. So sadly, I had to borrow my sister-in-law's suitcases to take with us because we also had to carry all this gear. Because now when you have a booth, it's not just like going to CrimeCon where you're just packing clothes and shoes where you want to look pretty. You have to pack all this gear. So we had all these giveaways. I mean, what do we have? We had wristbands, hand sanitizers, stickers. We had notepads, pens.
We had so much. We had so much giveaway, and it was like all gone.
Exactly. But we packed it all into our forensic files cooler that was sent to us. And if you've been on the media, social medias, you'll know. So we packed everything into the suitcase, and we get to the airport. Now, mind you, we packed this. Now, mind you, we have 4 suitcases. Fortunately, we're flying Southwest. 4 suitcases, 2 people, fly free. But they're packed and they're heavy. So we get to the airport. It's a little overweight. So the lady up there says, I'm sorry, this bag is 4 pounds overweight?
Yeah.
So we have to start reaching in there to take stuff out. So Lauren takes out her makeup bag and puts it into one of the suitcases that has all of our merch in it that we're going to give away. We also had a spin wheel, by the way, which we'll get into. We had a prize wheel. That was also in this suitcase. So we get the makeup bag and the stuff, and we get it in there. So finally we put the suitcase on there, and it nails it at 50 pounds. So now we're clear, all 4 suitcases. And I explained to the lady, I said, I said, it stinks because now we got a 5-hour layover in Baltimore. So a 5-hour layover in Baltimore. And she's like, I can fix that. And then she's like, I can fly you into Chicago Midway and then out to Vegas. You'll be at Vegas at 1:25 p.m. instead of 3:45. Lauren and I are like, perfect. She goes, yeah, it leaves in 25 minutes. You got time. So we take that ticket. She changed our tickets. We haul ass to security. And, of course, we get to security. And the line is like Space Mountain at Disney. So there was a lady walking through the line. She walks up to the line. And she comes up. She said she was yelling out somebody's name. Last call for so-and-so. Are you so-and-so? And I said, no, but here's the deal. And I explained that the ticket got changed. And she let us go through security. So we ended up going through security. We pretty much get through security, get water, and then we go right onto the flight. So by the time we use the restroom, get water, go right on the flight. So we get to Chicago Midway. That's great. We got to Chicago Midway. Well, the next flight takes us to Pittsburgh first. Remember that?
That was nutty.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
I don't either. She failed to mention that when she was changing our flight, that we would be flying from Fort Myers, Florida, to Chicago, to Pittsburgh, to Las Vegas.
Now, we didn't have to get off the plane, so we couldn't even get off the plane to, get lunch or snacks.
Yeah.
So, mind you, we're up at 3 o'clock in the morning. We leave at 4 o'clock in the morning. At 6 o'clock, we've boarded our flight, and we're on our way to Chicago. Fortunately, in Chicago, we were able to get breakfast. We got there 8. We got a little breakfast, but then they fly you to Pittsburgh, and you sit and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. Now, we're going to go back in time and land in LAS at 1:25.
Yeah.
So we get off, and of course, like everything else, we walk by, and when you hit oh my God, I was so blown away because I've never been to Vegas before. And if you've been to Vegas, you understand. You get off of the airplane, you walk out, and there's slot machines everywhere. Not slot machines, what they call them, gaming machines everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And then it's actually the little section we got off of was really clean and neat. So we get off, and I'm like, oh my God, I wanted to sit down and play some machines, but we're in the airport. We got to go to baggage claim. So we get a drink. We haul ass to baggage claim. And we get down there. We're waiting. And it spits out Lauren's suitcase, and then her other little suitcase that we had. And then it spits out my suitcase with all my clothes in it, which is destroyed.
Yeah. The wheel, one of the wheels was busted off.
Well, the other one was like barely hanging on. I mean, it was kind of like that loose tooth you had when you were like 7. You know, you can wiggle it almost or whatever, and you know if you just pulled it, it'd come out, but you were scared to do it.
Yeah.
So I had to roll the suitcase out sideways, and it split right down the middle, like busted.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God. How do you do this? So, of course, the lady, we end up going in there because now I'm sitting there waiting. So Lauren takes the busted suitcase, and she goes to talk to the lady at Southwest. And I go in, I'm like, oh, yeah, by the way, our other bag is lost. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, it ain't here. She goes, you sure? So Lauren's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. So we had to file some claim for that because we're looking, figuring it was going to come. Well, apparently, come to find out, all the merch that we brought to give away with all the toys and stuff to, you know, to play the games and everything else, to win the merch that we had, because we're in Vegas, we wanted to make it fun. Now, of course, that suitcase is missing. Now, it's apparently, I guess, the tag come off, and it ended up, from what I understand, the lady that the tags, whatever, I guess it ended up someplace in Maine or Connecticut or something, because the tag come off, they put on the wrong flight, they ended up finding it. Fortunately, I had put Paradise After Dark stickers on the outside of that suitcase, so that would be easier to spot, so they were able to find it. They ended up delivering it to our hotel at like 9:30 that night, which was okay, but Lauren was freaking out. Do you remember why? Because it had your makeup.
My makeup was in there.
And I think makeup, I'm thinking like 3 or 4 sticks of makeup. No.
We're talking like $1,000 worth of makeup, and
I'm not just like 5 or 6 pieces. We're talking about like an accumulation of 10 years of makeup in this bag. So $1,000 over 10 years is not bad, but I mean it's literally all in this massive bag that's in this suitcase because we had to lighten her load. So she's like, "Oh my God!" So me in my mind, she goes, "We got $1,000 of makeup in there." I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna have to go somewhere in Vegas and buy $1,000 worth of makeup? No."
Oh my God. But I totally would have made the airline pay me back.
But I was freaking out. So we ended up getting the hotel, which was nice. We spent that first day in a different hotel, which was comfortable, giant whirlpool tub. I mean, beautiful view of the Strip. But then we have to move on from the hotel we were in to the Strip because we would need to stay off the Strip because the hotels are ridiculous that weekend, except we booked through CrimeCon's their website.
Their block, yeah.
Exactly. Once you buy your ticket, you have a ticket, you can buy through their block, and it's huge savings. Huge savings. So we ended up moving to the hotel, but we had to get our Uber driver. Now, mind you, the NFL draft, of course, most people that were at CrimeCon know this, was there that weekend. And trying to get an Uber to the hotel was a bit tough. I mean, we literally took like, 2 miles away? 2.5 miles away?
And it was like $26 or something.
Yeah, but it took like freaking 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we had to take some back route, this road, and come
crazy.
in the back from the Bally Hotel, which we walk in, and I'm like, man, this place is beautiful. It was a beautiful little hotel. You know, you go in there, you're like, this is really nice. We go up to our room, get checked in and stuff. And so I want to sort of venture out and walk around. And I think we were going to meet up with, who were we meeting up with for the cabana?
Oh, Kelly from True Crime IRL. She rented a cabana for the first day, so we went down there. It was really nice. Really, really lovely first day at the Bali/Paris.
Do you remember walking through from Bali to Paris?
Yeah, we're going from the ghetto to like, you know.
It was definitely like Port Royal. I mean, it was very, very nice.
I don't think our users know what Port Royal is.
Well, Port Royal is a very high-end area in town. It's like the real high-end.
In our town.
So I will tell you this. It's like going from, I guess Aaron from Gen Y told me, he goes, I call it kind of like a Holiday Inn Express. Kind of like a Holiday Inn Express to the Hilton. Paris is just, it's beautiful the way they format it. I mean, they do it very well themed.
Yeah.
Didn't you feel like you were outside when you walked that breezeway?
I did feel that way. It was so much so that I think there was like a good 48 hours that we did not even step foot outside of the hotel.
You didn't have to.
And I didn't realize it until I think you mentioned it, that we haven't even stepped outside in over 48 hours.
Yeah, because you can just stay there. I mean, you walk downstairs. They have gift shops and everything. Well, so Lauren and I, we go down, we hang out with Kelly and all that stuff at the cabana, which, was very nice of her to get the cabana, and we got to hang out with her and hang out in the pool. And then as soon as we're out in the pool, we got to meet Bob Ruff and his wife. They came and hung out with us by the pool, which was a lot of fun.
We didn't meet them. We already know them.
I met them there.
Yeah.
I know we already know them because you were on his show, True Crime Binge. So, but I'm saying they met us there. They came down. However, I'm sorry, I didn't say it right. See, this is the uncut part where normally Lauren would go back and fix that to where I sounded really cool, but I just sounded stupid at that point. So thank you, Lauren, for that. But anyway.
I didn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, I'm still going to blame you.
Okay.
So anyway, we got to hang out at the pool, which was really nice. But then we got to go set everything up. So we go back upstairs. And then once I left the Paris and got back to the Valley, that's when I realized we're staying in a Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah.
So everything is good that day. We go and set everything up. I got to meet, when I got to go down through, because they give you a badge. And if you feel like so prideful, because I know the first time we went in New Orleans, they gave us the badges, and you couldn't really go anywhere or do anything beyond this little walkway.
But if you have a podcaster badge,
you're in like Flynn.
You're in like Flynn, man. You can go anywhere you want.
It felt that good. I don't know if you can go anywhere you want, but I went everywhere I wanted to go. So I have to walk down there, and I walk in, and the security guard looks at me and goes, "You see it?" And I showed him. He goes, "Go on." I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. Go on. It's right, boy." So
they were being super strict about it too.
Well, yeah. I mean, here's the issue that you had. Not the issue. This is why they were strict, and I understand it. So when you went through, we had to walk through security to get into the CrimeCon room, because this was a little different than New Orleans, because New Orleans was different levels.
Yes.
Austin was different levels as well. But what they have done this time, if you were there, you'll know. But what they did this time is they put all of the podcasters in one room, and in the middle, all the vendors. Now, the vendors, obviously, they're bringing merchandise.
Exhibitors is what
exhibitors,
they
I'm sorry.
To call themselves.
Sorry, not vendors. I apologize. See, there is the part where Lauren would make me look good again, but instead it looks stupid. Thanks, Lauren, again for that.
You're welcome very much.
No problem. I appreciate that. Keep me on my toes. So the vendors are all in the middle, which I understand because they brought products, things to give away, things to sell. So I get it why they've got to have extra security. But while I'm there, I walk over and I'm like, okay, this booth. I'm looking. I'm like, oh, this is a perfect spot. One, it was one table away from a water cooler.
Yes.
Two, we're next to...
That was important.
It was huge.
And we'll get to that in a minute.
Huge. So we got to sit one table away, and then and anybody that's listening now that was there, you understand why I love the spot we were at. I mean, we were across from Ninja Nancy, who, Lauren, you did the episode with her.
Yeah, we did. I interviewed her a couple months ago for the Ninja Nancy bonus safety episode.
Yeah, exactly. So we got to be across from her, which during the show was great because she's firing off these stun guns. And
I bought one.
I know you're sitting there talking to somebody, all of a sudden behind you, you hear, it's like, "Arr!" And you see him jump. I jump. It's like, whoa. But we set everything up, and I'm like, you know what? I brought the stuff down. I'm like, okay, cool, that's our booth. I'm going to get the rest of the stuff. But first, I'm going to see if Dr. Shiloh's here, because I've been watching her on TikTok. She's from LA to Confidential. And we've met her a long time ago and Get Vocal and had great conversation with her. So I walk around.
I played True Crime Trivia with her last year in Austin.
I know, that's right. You won all the way up until that point.
She beat me. She was the only one she beat me.
Exactly. Well, I mean, if you're going to lose to somebody, like we said before, that's how you live.
I don't mind losing to Dr. Shiloh.
Yeah, so I got to meet her and say hi to her, which is funny because we've had interaction on TikTok, and which was a lot of fun. So I got to meet her on the first day, and then of course I saw Rebecca Sebastian from Dialogue. So she came into the room, and then I saw Aaron and Justin, which is always fun because Aaron is such a good dude. Justin's a great guy. Got to see them, but I hadn't seen Captain or Nick yet. So we're wandering around or whatever. So I go back up to the room, and I'm just kind of chilling out. And it's funny because as you're there, you walk out and you can see people like looking at you funny, like, who's this guy? Who's this guy?
Who are they?
Who is this guy? Who's that? Who's that? So it was a lot of fun, because you're walking around with a podcaster badge, you get in the elevator and they're staring at you like, who's this guy? Well, you can't necessarily recognize me because all you hear is my voice.
Right?
So
we were incognito.
Invoice-nito. Well, you ever seen, speaking of, just total subject jump here, which is what happens on Off Topic Uncut. Mm-hmm. You ever seen Sharknado?
No, I've never had the pleasure.
No, it's definitely a pleasure. You should watch that.
Yeah,
and when you said that movie, I think of Sharknado.
Sharknado.
So, but the little, it was funny because the people from Magellan TV who are right across from us. Now, if
we love them.
Oh my God, if you do not have Magellan TV, this is a non-sponsored shout out, but they are amazing. What an amazing group of women over there.
They are. They're super awesome.
So nice, generous.
And Magellan TV is, in case you guys don't know, it's a streaming service. And all it is documentaries. And the amount of true crime documentaries on there is like, you don't even have enough time in a year to watch them all. And they're constantly like adding more. So I love it.
Well, the one thing about Magellan TV that I believe, I can't think of the other lady's name, but the woman I spoke to the most was Chelsea. I think she's one of the head dogs there at Magellan TV. As I said, so yeah, you do the true crime documentaries. She goes, no, we do documentaries. We have a section that's true crime. So
yeah, it's just documentaries.
It's documentaries, just thousands of them. So if you like true crime documentaries, that's great. But if you like documentaries on butterflies, I'm pretty sure they have something somewhere.
Yeah.
So Magellan TV, again, not a sponsor, but I would love to give them a shout out because they're so generous to us. They were generous to us in Austin. If anyone remembers the shot glass incident with Lauren, we got that replaced.
My Ted Bundy shot glass. My mom dropped it.
Yeah, it got busted, so Lauren was able to get a new one. But they were so generous and nice to talk to there. So we were literally right across from them, which was great because they always have a big draw. And, of course, it was funny because on that night I set up the prize wheel, and one of the girls had to come over. She goes, "Can I spin your prize wheel?" So she spun it, and she's like, "Oh, my God, that sound is so soothing." So it was funny because she kept spinning it. Like, she spun it a couple times. It was really cool because, as she's spinning it, I start seeing heads turn and people are looking. I'm like, this is going to work.
Yeah.
This prize wheel thing is going to work. And it was really good because on Friday when we kind of opened up Podcast Row, people were spinning the wheel and it got attention, And that's all I want to do is just talk to people. And whether you listen to us or not, I just love talking to people. Like
he does. He really does.
Talking to people.
If you listen to if you hear most of our off-topic uncut episodes, it's like 97% Ken just running his mouth, and me just kind of like staring at him.
Did you have to say running his mouth?
Well, I mean that's
you
what
could just say talking or
seriously
properly enunciating.
Can we look at this? We're 23 minutes in now, and let me go look at the waves because
unoutlined,
I can
unscripted.
See.
It's me mostly. I get it. Well, a lot of work went into this because keep in mind, people, we had a huge fear because when we were going to CrimeCon, we had to start ordering all of our promo merchandise back like in December, January, because we're scared like, man, this, all these shortages and shipment shortages, we were afraid that we weren't going to be able to order things and get them in time. And some of the things come in a little bit later. We gave away some notepads there, and I think those came in like a week prior to us going. So we were trying to get stuff ready early on. And then, of course, it was like the numbers kept going up. It's like, do we have enough?
Yeah.
And obviously we got there and sat down, and, the setup was so perfect. We were like 4 tables down from True Crime Garage, 6 tables down from Generation Y. We were in the perfect spot because we were over in the corner by the water cooler and by the exit. So a lot of people, as they walked, they could walk out the exit, which was good because then a lot of people who were leaving were right there. So we had a really good spot. Some of the people I've listened to, and the conversations I had, they weren't happy that the way Podcast Row was set up. Now, I personally didn't like the time setting. I wish there was like a time frame, like, hey, Podcast Row, because in Austin, wasn't it Podcast Row open to time?
Yeah, and it was that way in New Orleans too. But this time, because the event was so big, they basically had Podcast Row open, I think, pretty much the whole time. And a little behind the scenes information, like our contract said that we had to spend at least 2 hours a day at our table, which was significantly less than the last few years. Normally we'd have to spend those hours at our table, but this year it didn't give us a specific time.
Yeah, it was like I think the first day was like 12 to 7. and the next day was like 9 to 5.
But Ken, I got to give him mad credit because he sat at that table. I'm a social butterfly. Like, I love to sit at the table and talk to people, but then I also want to get up and I want to go, walk around and say hi to everybody and network and this and that. So he spent much more time at the table than I did, and I sincerely apologize if anybody came to the table and didn't get to see my beautiful face, but maybe next year.
Well, one of my fear was this. I sat at the table because I know I got there. Oh my gosh! Remember when we went to walk down Friday morning? So Friday morning we tell Lorna starts in 30 minutes. So let's go get to our booth and get ready to go. We walk down and it's like, what? There's like 2,000 people in this breezeway.
Right,
to walk into CrimeCon in line, and I'm like, just follow me, babe. Just stay close. Just stay close. Just stay close. And I'm kind of like cutting a path for everybody.
And everyone's looking at us like, who are these people? They're cutting us.
And I'm like literally walking through. I'm carrying my backpack because I had water and snacks because I knew I was going to be there for a hot minute. I brought me some Reese cups. I had airplane snacks, Pringles. I thought, I don't know how long I want to be here. But here was my fear. My fear was, it was a 2-hour limit, but I was afraid that I wanted to be there to set up the booth. We were supposed to be there 2 hours, and they said that's all you have to be. But what if somebody came to see us, and there were a few people that actually, there was 3 people there that I met that were actually, well, one was from Naples, 2 were from Fort Myers, that had heard of us. They listened to us, and they're like, oh, I wanted to meet you, blah, blah. One lady come by, wanted to hear me go, duck, 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 which I thought was great. So Lauren and I had to do the intro, which I'm glad she was there for that moment because that was great for that lady to come by. And we really appreciate that and really appreciate her listening. But because that's how you know someone listens to the show when they walk up and they go, hey, Ken, duck, 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 duck. I love that.
I know.
But I was afraid that somebody was going to come up and I wasn't going to be there. And they'd be like, oh, who are these buttheads? Why didn't these assholes sit at their table? I was afraid of that. So I wanted to be there as much as I could because, it was a 2-hour window. But what would happen is there would be a certain gaps where a session. So when a session got out, and I literally was checking my schedule, if the session got out, people were coming out of the sessions and then going into Podcast Row for like 15 or 20 minutes before the next sessions. So they were going through, and that was really, and I really wish they would have just done, and don't get me wrong, CrimeCon, Kevin, as far as Paradise After Dark is concerned, for us, I think they did a fantastic job. I think they did a fantastic job for us. There was others that had some incidents, which understandably so because they were fearful that some of their listeners were upset and meet and greets and things like that. But for us, us as a whole, I think they did a great job for us as far as positioning, the way everything was handled, as polite as all of the CrimeCon staff were. We had everything we needed, and like 3 times there was a lady that came by that asked us, hey, do you have everything you need? Can I get you this, that? I said, no, we're perfect. We did miss Susie. She wasn't there. Susie wasn't there. We did find her hiding in the basement later, which was nice. Yeah, we did. Got to hang out, have lunch with her, and just, for a little bit of chat before we had to go up and finish up on Sunday, which I really wish we could have spent more time. But for the most part, that was good. But sitting down there in the booth, like Lauren said, a lot of times she wasn't there. So I was there the whole time, and I really just wanted to be there in case somebody came by. And I wanted to tell everybody about the show because that's why you're at CrimeCon.
Can I tell you something that's completely off topic and uncut?
This really is. Go ahead.
So while we're doing this, I'm kind of perusing Amazon because I'm making a wish list for my after surgery wish list.
After surgery? Oh, that's right. I got
it. This coming Wednesday, I'm having surgery on my elbow, everyone, just so you know. So give us some fucking slack, all right? Because my right arm is going to be completely immobile for 2 or more weeks. So it's going to be very hard for me to write, produce, edit. So just giving you heads up.
And just so everyone knows, if Ken edits, it will literally sound like a 4-year-old telling you about their day.
Yes. Thank you, sweetie. Sweetie 239. Yeah. Anyway. So I am like low-key kind of making this wish list over here on my computer. And I found a toilet buddy that helps you wipe your butt. Like it's like a long thing and you put the toilet paper in it. Right? And it helps you reach around and wipe your butt. Like if you can't do it, because my right arm's going to be in a cast. So I'm not used to wiping my butt with my left arm. So I found this toilet buddy and I put it on my wish list. So I have an after surgery wish list. It's 15 inches.
I don't know.
And it grips toilet paper or pre-moistened wipes.
How did we get here?
Because I just butted in and...
literally butted in with a wiper.
So I didn't even know these things existed. But hey, you guys, maybe I'll put my wish list out there. And if somebody wants to buy me this Bottom Buddy toilet aid, I would be much appreciative.
So you butted in to tell us about your bottom wiping buddy aid.
All right. Do you want me to tell you all about it? Because I will.
Honestly, I've heard enough. I'm going to be honest. I've heard enough, Lauren. I mean, I really would love for you to join in and talk, but just leave the toilet talk at home. This is not toilet talk.
I just found this thing and it's super cool.
Okay, super cool it is.
All right, I'm gonna stop with the Amazoning. But if anybody's interested in shopping my wish list, maybe I'll put it out there for you guys.
It's basically what she means is, Ken, if you could be so kind as to look at my Amazon wish list and buy me
everything on it.
Yeah, I want all the things.
All of the things. I want all the comfort items that are gonna help me feel better after I go under the knife.
Under the knife. So, but don't be worried. We got episodes ready to go. We got some stuff planned. So we're gonna have you guys covered.
Cut us some slack,
please. And not F-bomb slack, like Lauren said. I'm trying to be pleasant over here, and she's getting a little angry.
We're rated.
All right, that's right. So what I was trying to say earlier before really interrupted, but toilet talk. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I also found garbage disposal cleaner.
Well, that's definitely important for after surgery. I don't even know what that means. But this is what happens on Off Topic Uncut, folks. This is just the way it goes sometimes. Amy will know. She loves On Topic.
Amy, Buggy.
She loves Off Topic.
This is for you, baby.
And we really appreciate that. Her support is amazing.
All of our supporters are amazing.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just saying hers is amazing in particular because she always hits us up too on social medias. Shut up, Shannon. I had to throw it in there. It's like a running thing now. So anyway, back to what I was saying. We have this like I told you about our Forensic Files little box. It's like a little cooler that HLN sent us. Which I'm going to take me into something else. So I take this little cooler thing, and Lauren's not there. We're doing a T-shirt drawing that you can win on the prize wheel, and I have it sitting in the chair next to me because Lauren's not in the chair next to me. And then when somebody spins in the wheel, they get entered in the T-shirt drawing because we gave away 6 T-shirts that day, or that weekend, I should say, rather. So you spun the wheel, and if you got the T-shirt drawing, you could pick whatever prize you wanted. You put your name in there, and we drew names to give away T-shirts, which worked out really good because a lot of people loved it, and they loved to come spin the wheel. And some people were like, "Oh, the wheel," and they turned the wheel back on purpose, be like, "Oh, it says this," and it was just a running joke.
It was fun though.
But people would come by, and I have this box that looks like it's like a small cooler. But it looks like something that you would put like a severed hand in that you're trying to emergency deliver to the hospital, or like something from a crime scene, like, there's a severed foot, whatever. It would go in this box. And it says HLN on it, and there's like fingerprints on the side and some things like that. And, it just looked that way. So people come by and I'd say, well, yeah, my wife and I tap the box. We do the podcast. And the people are like,
is she in there?
What?
Is she caught up in there?
One lady goes, "I'm sorry, do I need to call somebody?" And I said, "What?" She goes, "You just tapped that box and said my wife and I." I said, "Yeah, my wife and I." I tapped the box again. She goes, I feel like I need to call somebody. And I said, "Oh, no. No, that's not it. That's my wife and I. She's not here. She's out walking around and stuff like that. Plus, she's preparing for the live show. No, I just tapped that box because I was tapping the chair." But it was funny to have that dialogue. And I got to meet LaDessa from the Brandon Lawson case, and that just really meant...
She was so sweet.
She was very sweet. Her and her friend. I can't think of her friend's name, and I feel horrible about it. I want to say Kelly, but that's not it. But then I got to meet some other people who were speakers there. And one in particular, I've actually I spoke to him there, and I'm going to do an interview. I have to finish his book, so stay tuned because I really want to talk to him. And the case is absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, when he was telling me the story, it blew me away. And I'm like, I remember this. And then he said, "Have you ever heard this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh, now I get it." And it rang a bell. And I really want to talk to him. And it was just such a great event there during the day. And the first, I got to meet the guy Mark next to me, who's found out his father was in WITSEC, the Witness Protection Program. And Jackie, her story is amazing.
Yeah.
She doesn't do like a weekly podcast. It's just like an ongoing podcast of her situation where her family was in witness protection as well.
Yeah, it was really, both of their stories were super interesting, I think.
It was great. I mean, we got approached by a media company there, which was really cool, although we're an independent company. So
I don't know whether we're ready to sign with anyone just yet.
I don't know. I'm scared.
Scared. I kind of like to run ourselves. Like, I don't want anybody in charge of us.
What if they told you were going to get a research assistant and an editor?
Oh, well, then that would be a different story. That'd be definitely a different story. Can I say something about something that I found to be extremely cool?
Yeah.
Is down at the bar meeting Jim Clemente.
Oh, yes.
And, I mean, he's not John Douglas or anything, but I'm sorry. That sounded rude. But Jim Clemente profiled Israel Keys. And I don't think our listeners really know yet exactly how much of a rabbit hole I've gone down in the last month or so on Israel Keys. But I got to talk to Jim Clemente about Israel Keys. And the things he said, that Israel Keys is like one of the most forensically sophisticated. I mean, there's like no other serial killer like him, which is probably why I'm going down this rabbit hole. And eventually we will be doing an episode on it. And Jim Clemente said he would come on our show, but he had been drinking, so I can't say that for sure he will or not. But I'm definitely going to be reaching out and asking him to.
Oh, yeah, and you can just remind him of that moment.
Hey, remember when you were in the bar and you promised me you'd come talk to me about this crazy guy?
He's going to be like, yeah,
who
maybe.
Are you? I have a picture of us together. I'll send him the picture. Remember that?
Exactly. Well, so, I mean, it was just such a fun event at CrimeCon. And if you're listening for the first time, or if you just started listening and you got to meet me or you spoke to me and for some reason you just decided to come and listen to Paradise After Dark podcast because of CrimeCon in Vegas.
Don't let this be your only episode.
Yeah, please don't let it. Because this is Ken just rambling, which I probably did. If you're listening and I talked you into listening to the show and you listen to this episode, I probably just got you stuck there talking because I love doing that. But I really had such a great time. So many people were so great.
Me too.
I tell you, in other words, go back to what I was saying, because this is what happens on Uncut. I get rambling and get run off. But if you met me there and we talked, please go to our discussion page and hit us up. Just say, hey, Ken, it was great to meet you or something, just to let us know that, hey, I met you there and I'm listening and this is what I think of the show. Because one of the things I told everybody there was, hey, if you like, go give us a listen. If you like it, tell somebody. If you don't, tell us.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. We want to improve. No matter what you do to get better, there's always room for improvement. So that's what we're trying to do. So one other thing, Lauren, that I really, because we did a couple little off-campus excursions, but I want to kind of keep this CrimeCon related. But one of the things that I cherish the most about CrimeCon, I mean, obviously, we got to eat lunch with Nick and the captain from True Crime Garage, Cherry and Morgan from Crimepedia. We sat and we had lunch with them, which was absolutely amazing. I mean, there's just such good people all the way around. I mean, Nick is pretty cool, and Captain, we love Captain. That's just how it is.
He's our homie.
Yeah, he's very generous. We ended up going to dinner with him that night, and I guess they had an incident with one of their special meet and greets where something went wrong. There was miscommunication between CrimeCon, True Crime Garage, and the meet and greet. Which if you go to there, if you sign up for Stitcher Premium and you sign up for the show off the record, you can listen to it there. But they tell kind of what happened. But we didn't experience anything like that. So hopefully we will. Hopefully somebody wants to do a meet and greet with us, because my heart would literally shatter because I'd be so excited that I could meet somebody. I'd be like, whoa. I mean, I shouldn't say shatter. I mean full. But because it was really such a good experience, when you're out and about and you get to meet these people. I talked to Tim from Crawl Space Media, and the guy comes up, and here's what blows me away. Walks up and he says, "Hey, Ken, how are you?" And I'm like, because if anyone remembers Tim and Lance from Missing Maura Murray podcast, or what got Lauren listening to podcast, which got Lauren wanting to do a podcast, which Lauren got Ken wanting to do a podcast, and now here we are over 4 years later and doing podcasts. So here he comes up and he says, "Hi, Ken, how you doing?" He somehow remembered my name. I don't know if he heard me tell somebody or whatever. Either way, it felt really good.
Yeah.
And then I got to meet Laura Rothman in one of the most exciting experiences that I had. What was the most exciting experience you had?
Oh my God, there's so many. Like, I got to
the live show. Maybe?
Oh, I made Billy Jensen smile.
Oh my God, there's a great picture of you and Billy Jensen and the captain.
I also did a live taping of a podcast in front of a lot of people. Everybody said I did really good, except I was really nervous, but I'll take their word for it that I did really good.
Tell them about the podcast, the live show, because the live show is not just like a room where Lauren's on the stage and doing the show. It was the glass box, which I thought was a really weird situation because there was so much noise in that room.
And it was not a glass box.
Exactly. I don't know what that was all about. But Lauren's not only doing a live show in front of a live audience, she's doing it in Podcast Row with every other podcaster that was in that room that day.
Yeah. You didn't have to remind me of that, though.
That puts you on stage.
Was like,
But it puts you on stage, because now you got all these people that do what you do, and you're doing what they do, and they're watching you do what you do. So I was very impressed.
What you do.
Whenever it is you do.
Do what you do.
Exactly. So it was very, very good. CrimeCon is amazing, always is. Vegas was amazing. I mean, as long as you got lotion, lipstick, and a shit ton of water, bring a couple $20 bills because you're probably going to want to slide in a machine. But what I was going to say...
Oh, yeah. I won $1,200 on a slot machine.
Oh, that was because we were going to lunch. Oh, we found the greatest little spot in Bally's. It's the food court. It's like a mall down there. You walk down, it's like this empty hallway with a food court. There was a Johnny Rockets, some little Asian Pan, I think it was called, restaurant, Sbarro's, Nathan Hot Dogs, and then a Subway. So like it's food court. So we were going down there to go to lunch. And Lauren decides, while I go to the bathroom, she's just going to win $1,245 real quick at lunchtime.
Just real quick.
Which promptly was spent between dinners and food and the trip to the Miracle Mile Mall that we left and went to. But I'll get to my cherished moment, my most cherished moment there. But the one thing I cherished the most was, I'm going to get to it in a minute. I was so excited because Grayson, who is a friend of ours, does a lot of the media stuff for Headline News, and he sends us stuff, and we do a lot of stuff for them.
Shout out to Grayson.
Grayson is amazing. I'm so happy to finally meet him.
He's such a cool dude.
So happy to meet him. But I'm sitting at the booth, and I'm talking to this lovely lady who was sitting there talking to me. We were kind of, I think I had literally just helped this lady set up her podcast. She goes, "What's a podcast?" She goes, "I feel so weird in this room and I'm looking at all this stuff." She goes, "But you seem nice enough. Can I ask you what a podcast is?" So I explained it to her. She says, How do I listen?" So she got her iPhone. I showed her how to download the podcast app, or showed her how to open the app, should say, rather. And she's like, "Okay, what do I do now?" I told her how to search for us. And then she goes, "Oh, I'm going to subscribe." She hit play. She started listening. She goes, "Oh my God, I'm going to love this." So I feel good that I'm like the first person to help this lady get a podcast, because I know that in a year she's going to have like 50 favorites.
Yeah.
And she's going to be on Podcast Row, probably she's going to be at Podcast Row and then wanting to meet everybody else and stuff like that, which is always exciting because that's what Lauren did to me. And now I listen to tons of podcasts about everything.
Yeah.
But here comes Grayson walking in, and I'm watching him walk up. I just finished talking to this lady, and I look over, and standing next to me is Susan Hendricks from Headline News. And I'm literally putting my hand on my face. I look like Kevin McAllister on Home Alone, like, "Oh!" And she smiles real big, comes over, and shakes my hand, gets a picture with me. And we talked a little bit because, she comes to Florida for some things. She's got family here and things, which was really cool conversation. But then after we're just talking, she said, "Thank you guys very much for what you do for the show and being on the show. We would really love to talk to you guys one weekend. Be sure to reach out to Grayson. Grayson, you reach out to them. I would love to have them on Headline News and just talk to them for a little bit one weekend and let them tell us about the show." She goes, "I would really love that."
Could you imagine?
I can't imagine because we're going to do it. Grayson's going to reach out. I got my picture taken with her. I'm waiting for Grayson. Grayson, if you listen, please hit me up because I really want that picture. I didn't get it. Grayson took it. But that was a really kind of like, I don't know, like a great moment for me because I've been watching headline news forever. So, I've been following Susan Hendricks forever. So that was a really good moment. But back to again, this happens in off topic cut. The most cherished moment I had was meeting the OGs. I got to see some OGs from back in NOLA.
Oh yes,
we did miss Dana. We did miss Jen and Adam. He was awesome at NOLA. I think he's out and he could have come. I think he lives in Arizona. He could have came.
He could have come, but I don't know why he didn't. It was Vegas after all.
But I was so happy we got to see Shelly and meet her new friend Tammy.
Yep.
Shelly's amazing. She's a great supporter of the show. We met her.
Shelly's
in NOLA.
a patron.
I know. We met her. It was amazing. Dan, of course. I got to mention Dan like 20 times.
Kara,
I love that guy.
I love you,
Kara. We met her in Austin, so we added her to the OGs. We got to see Morgan again. Gracie and Betsy, we got to see them. We met them at Ernst Cafe in NOLA.
So many special people.
We met Alex and Kelly. Remember, we met them back in NOLA, which was that was just such a great trip, and it was that was so much fun, and we met these great people, and it was just a great. It was just a great time to spend time with them. And then we met Carrie. I think Lauren kind of brought Carrie in Austin and really got her introduced to some people. She met some great friends there. She was telling me the story of being in Austin, and she made a Facebook post about, about being home, being in the room alone. And Lauren's like, hey, we're down here. Come down. So she comes down there, and then she ends up meeting people there, and they become really good friends. And now they meet at CrimeCon, even though they're in different parts of the state or the country. It's just such a great event. CrimeCon, I think if people would if you love podcasts, if you love this stuff, the speakers were great. I went and saw the only one that I really got to see this weekend was the one that I'm going to interview on his book. His name is Russell. He's a really good guy. So I'm going to interview him. I hope if he comes through. We got some great interviews set up. Should be a really good time. But we really want to. Thank everyone that we met there. We want to thank CrimeCon. We want to thank, all of our friends that we have that are in podcasting. Gen Y, they've been supportive of us and help us. Really want to thank Captain from True Crime Garage because he's been there no matter what. I've asked so many things of him and he bounces stuff off. He's helped Lauren out a lot.
We want to thank Ken from Podcast Magazine for interviewing us.
Yes.
Because we're going to be featured in Podcast Magazine. And also I would like to thank Pooja from the Oxygen Network for inviting me to be on an episode of Snapped.
Whoa, what?
I'm going to be on Snapped. Super stoked.
Snapped?
Super stoked. I'm going to be on Snapped.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I'll give more details
as
later,
it gets closer.
Yeah,
but that's exciting stuff.
All of this stuff happened in like one weekend, and I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Ken can attest to it. I get goosebumps.
So things started off rough, but it became overwhelming. So
yes,
always a great time. Kevin, I think you put on a great event at CrimeCon. Is Elise still involved?
Elise, yes, she's still involved.
Yeah, whoever runs CrimeCon. Even we're in Austin. Kevin, I got to see him once. I said hi to him. He probably wouldn't remember me because there were thousands of people there. But just a great event, a great time. We're hoping that CrimeCon's going to be in Orlando. We're hoping we get invited back because I would love to do Podcast Row because I love talking to people and just enjoy everyone's company. So, regardless of the dry weather and the sore throat, literally after the first day, my throat was so sore. I talked to so many people. My throat's getting sore talking now.
That's because you've been running your mouth this whole episode.
I know I do that. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. Oh,
this is Ken's chance to
be Ken.
Yeah.
One thing to remember.
I usually keep him like in a cage in a corner, and I tell him what to say. But this is his only time that he gets to say whatever he wants.
Last little tip I'm going to leave you with before we move on to our special material for our patrons. If you stay in a hotel in the Strip, pack a coffee pot, because on the Vegas Strip, the hotels and resorts do not have coffee pots.
True story.
They force you to walk downstairs to
Through
go
the
across
casino.
the casino to get coffee, spend $7 on coffee, maybe drop $20 in a machine, because those things just will suck you in. They will suck you right in. But the good news is because we didn't have a coffee pot, I found the food court down below at the basement of the Valley, which we ended up having lunch pretty cheap for a few days.
Think it was on our last day, though, that we were leaving. We were actually going to go out of the hotel and find somewhere to eat outside. And I sat at a machine. I think I put $35 in, but then won $300.
Yeah, she kept winning so we could spend. So then when we won that money, we realized.
So then we went and got $4.99 breakfast.
Outside of the Strip, leave the resort.
Leave the Strip. Oh, my God.
Resort.
Everybody, leave the Strip or you're going to pay like 800% more than anything else.
Yeah, it gets to be crazy. But if you go there, I mean, Vegas is like New York City. You got to go there at least once and enjoy it. So, is there anything else you want to add about our CrimeCon weekend? I mean, if there's something a question you got, I mean.
It's not about the CrimeCon weekend. It's really about my after surgery wish list. And I really want somebody to buy me the butt wiper.
Oh, my God.
I will post it. It's on the list. Only one, though. So only one lucky person gets to buy me the butt wiper. And if it's gone, it's gone. Then you're going to have to buy me something different from the list.
This makes me want to say you're just full of shit.
Well, I know. That's why I need the butt wiper.
Oh, goodness. All right, everybody. Patrons, keep listening. We got a little more coming up for you.
Don't tune out. We got more for you. We got the dirty deets.
So we've taken our little break for CrimeCon. We got our episode out about the Alabama prisoner escape. So we put that out last week.
We got another new one coming out next week.
The next one coming up. Please tune in for that one. That is a tragic case.
Trigger warning.
I'll be honest with you. I remember it, but it kind of fell off my brain. But once we got back on the list, it's horrific. So please tune in for that next week on a Monday. Remember, we release every Monday. And again, everyone, thank you very much for listening.
To Paradise After Dark.
Dark, dark, dark.